Hello, sewing friends. Who's ready to turn those pretty scrap fabrics you've been hoarding into the cutest scrap buster block ever? Well, wait no further. Let me introduce you to the Tulips Field block, made with one of our curator collections by AGF Studio called Modernista. This block design was inspired by the rooted tulips print, with geometric tulips lined up in rows. If you're up for the challenge of making tiny half-square triangles using the corner square method and adding some sashing strips, then grab some Modernista fabrics and let's get started. But before we do, make sure to subscribe, like, and share with all your sewing friends.
The Modernista Collection is a celebration of florals and geometrics. The bold, vibrant colors are the perfect choice for any modern quilter. Cutting directions are in the description box below. Because there are so many fabric A pieces close in size, I found it helpful to label the measurements of each of my fabric A pieces. To start, you will need your 1 5/8 squares from fabric A and B. Draw a line from corner to corner on the wrong side of your fabric B squares and place right sides together to a fabric A square. Repeat this step with your remaining 1 5/8 squares from fabric A and B. Sew a scant 1/4 inch on each side of the line. Chain piecing as you go to make this process faster. Cut on the line you drew to reveal 2 half-square triangles. Repeat this process to get a total of 24 AB half-square triangles. Press your pieces open and trim them to 1 1/4 inch. Set those aside and take your 1 1/4 inch squares from fabric A and draw a line with a straight edge corner to corner on the wrong side of the fabric. Place these squares on each corner of a 2 1/4 by 3 1/2 inch rectangles from fabric B and sew on the line you drew. Trim corners at 1/4 inch and press your corners open. This is the bottom unit of your tulip. To create the top of your tulip, sew 4 AB half-square triangles together following this layout. Sew your top tulip to your bottom tulip unit and create 6 of these in total with the rest of your pieces. Now grab your 2 1/8 squares from fabric A and C and draw a line from corner to corner on the wrong side of fabric C and place it right sides together to a fabric A square. Repeat this process with your remaining squares and sew a scant 1/4 inch on each side of the line. Cut on the line you drew to reveal 24 half-square triangles, trimming them to 1 3/4 inch. To sew up your tulip leaves, arrange your half-square triangles as follows. Next, sew a 1 by 1 3/4 inch rectangle to the top of each leaf unit. Next, take a 1 by 3 1/2 inch rectangle from fabric D and sew in between each leaf unit to create the stem. Repeat this process to make 6 stem and leaf units. Sew all of your tulip head units to your stem and leaf units to create 6 tulips. Arrange your tulips with 2 sets facing towards each other and the middle set facing away from each other. Sew a 2 by 3 1/2 inch rectangle from fabric A between each set of blocks. Take your 1 1/4 inch by 13 inch strip from fabric A and sew it to the inside row of your block and the outer 2 rows. Then sew your 2 by 13 inch strip from fabric A to each side of your block. And your Tulip Fields block is complete.
And voila! Our tulip block is complete, and I couldn't be more happier with how it turned out. For as tiny as these quilting units are, it sure came together pretty quickly. And I can't wait to make some more blocks to turn it into a table runner. For more fun sewing projects made with Modernista fabrics, make sure to check out the links in the description box below. Until next time, happy sewing!